So, let's talk about something a lot of people are whispering about right now because over the past few weeks, the DWP has rolled out a set of important pension payment changes. And honestly, most retirees still don't fully understand what's actually happening. And look, if you rely on your state pension credit or any form of DWP support, you really don't want to be the last person to find out about this. What's surprising is that these changes aren't being shouted about. There's no big headline, no dramatic announcement, no long warning letter. Instead, these updates are quietly appearing in guidance notes, payment timetables, and internal DWP processes. And they could shape how, when, or even how smoothly your payments arrive over the coming months. Now, don't worry. This isn't fear or panic. No one's losing their pension. No one's being cut off. But some parts of the system are being adjusted. And if you're not aware of what those adjustments are, you might easily misread a delayed payment, a change date, or a new verification request as something serious. And that's where the real stress begins. So, in today's video, I'm breaking everything down simply, clearly, and calmly, the way it should have been explained from the start. Whether you're over 66, receiving pension credit, claiming a top-up, or supporting someone who does, you're going to walk away knowing exactly what's changed, who it affects, what the new process looks like, and what you should be ready for. Stick with me, because even one small detail in this update could make the difference between a smooth payment month and an unexpected headache you didn't need. So, now that we've set the stage with what's shifting inside the DWP for 2025, let's unpack everything in a calm, clear, and genuinely helpful way. Because I know how confusing these payment changes can feel. Every week, people ask the same thing. Why does the DWP keep updating payment rules? Why can't things just stay steady for pensioners? And honestly, it's a fair question when you're depending on a fixed income. Even tiny administrative changes can feel like someone shook the whole carpet under your feet. That's exactly why, in this video, we're breaking everything down in plain English. No jargon, no fear-mongering, just what's actually happening. Why these changes matter, and what you personally need to check so that your pension arrives on time and without disruption. You deserve clarity, not confusion. Now, first things first. The DWP's latest round of updates isn't just some random reshuffling. According to the department, these changes have been coming for a while because of how payments are processed, verified, and scheduled across the UK. The key point to understand here is that every pension payment, whether you're on the basic state pension, the new state pension, pension credit, or additional benefits tied to your retirement age, goes through several internal checks: identity, eligibility, residency status, bank details, and more. And over the last 2 years, the DWP has been tightening a lot of these systems, mainly to cut down on fraud and errors. So, if you notice certain messages asking you to confirm details, or if you suddenly get a letter asking you to update something, it doesn't always mean something is wrong with your claim. Sometimes it's simply part of a broader update the department is rolling out for everyone. But the part most retirees really notice is payment timing. For 2025, the DWP is continuing its shift toward more predictable payment cycles, especially around bank holidays and seasonal disruptions. If you've ever received your payment early around Christmas, Easter, or a bank holiday weekend, you know how this works. The DWP has to adjust their batch schedules so that nobody is left waiting. The new updates emphasize even more consistency, which means payments may occasionally arrive earlier than usual. That might sound like good news, but sometimes early payments throw people off because if you're not expecting the shift, it can look like the DWP missed a week. And once confusion starts, people panic. That's why the DWP has been telling people, don't worry if a payment comes a day or two early around holidays. It's planned, not a mistake. And it doesn't mean your next payment will be delayed. Another big part of the update has to do with the DWP's push toward what they call verification alignment. And I know that sounds like one of those government phrases nobody cares about, but it actually does matter. It means they're trying to make sure your records match HMRC's records so payments aren't interrupted. Many pensioners don't realize that HMRC and DWP share certain data behind the scenes, especially for things like tax codes, national insurance contributions, or pension credit eligibility. If even one detail doesn't match, the system sometimes pauses your payment until everything lines up correctly. The new rules aim to reduce that. But in the short term, you might see more letters, more requests to verify identity, or more prompts to confirm your bank account is still active. It might feel annoying, but it's part of ensuring you don't run into payment pauses later. Speaking of bank accounts, one of the biggest 2025 updates involves account verification. The DWP has been working with major UK banks to confirm that pension payments only go into accounts that belong to the correct claimant. This is partly to protect older people from scams and partly because there have been thousands of cases where pension payments kept going into someone else's account long after the claimant changed banks or passed away. So don't be surprised if you get a letter confirming your bank details, and please don't ignore those letters. They aren't scams if they come from official DWP addresses. It's simply part of a broader security upgrade, and confirming your details now can save you from payment delays later. Now, let's talk about something many people don't realize until it happens to them: payment suspensions. The new update introduces stricter rules on when the DWP can temporarily pause a pension. This usually happens if there's missing information, unresolved identity checks, or unanswered correspondence. For instance, if the DWP sends a letter asking you to confirm your address or provide updated information and you ignore it or don't receive it, they can suspend payments until it's resolved. And this is where many retirees get frustrated because they say, "But I never got any letter." Sometimes addresses aren't updated in the system. Other times, the DWP sends the letter to an old address because a bank or GP record didn't match. The takeaway here is simple. If you move house, change numbers, switch banks, or update any major personal details, always notify the DWP directly. Not just your bank, not just HMRC, not just your council. You must update the DWP too. Otherwise, even if it's a simple mix-up, payment holds can take weeks to untangle. Another area being updated involves people who receive pension credit. The DWP is pushing harder than ever to ensure everyone who is eligible actually claims it. There are nearly 1 million pensioners who qualify but don't apply often because they think they won't be eligible. But the truth is, many are. Pension credit isn't just extra income. It can unlock things like free NHS dental treatment, housing benefit, warm home discount, and more. As part of the update, the DWP will be sending out more letters encouraging people aged 66 and above to check their eligibility. They've also started reviewing past cases where people may have been entitled to pension credit but didn't claim it. So, if you get a letter telling you that you could qualify, don't ignore it. It could mean hundreds of pounds per month plus access to other benefits. Now, something else that's worth mentioning is the DWP's change in how they assess residency for pension payments. A lot of retirees travel abroad, some for long holidays, some to visit family, and some live abroad permanently. The new system makes residency checks more strict, meaning the DWP may double-check whether someone is actually living in the UK or overseas. This doesn't affect most people, but if you spend extended periods abroad, you should know the rules. You can still receive your state pension abroad, but certain benefits, like pension credit, require UK residency. The new update means the DWP may request additional proof if they detect inconsistencies. Again, this is about preventing fraud, not punishing retirees, but staying aware of the rules can save you from unexpected interruptions. Transportation costs, inflation, and the cost of living challenges also tie into why the DWP continues revising payment structures. They're trying to ensure the pension system stays stable long term. With people living longer and costs rising, the government wants to modernize systems that were designed decades ago. While not every change will feel convenient, many of them are aimed at preventing larger issues down the road, like payment backlogs, mismatched records, or processing errors. The bottom line in all of this is simple. The DWP isn't trying to confuse anyone, but the way they communicate these updates can sometimes feel rushed or unclear. That's why videos like this exist, to translate the technical updates into normal, understandable information, so you know exactly what to expect. The good news is that as long as your details are up to date, your identity is verified, and you respond to any official letters, you should not experience any disruptions. And if something does go wrong, the DWP helpline can sort it out. Though I know the wait times can test anyone's patience. GHE.